I'm really excited to talk about this topic today because I had brain fog for myself and I used to suffer from it so much. I used to be a professional soccer player in Germany, and when I had my brain fog, I was an active soccer player, and it was so hard for me because we're gonna get into that soon. I'm gonna explain to you what brain fog even is, why so many people suffer from brain fog, what is the actual cause of it, what can you do about it, and what are the symptoms of brain fog, because a lot of people actually, they have brain fog, but they don't really know it. So we're gonna talk about that, and maybe you're gonna see yourself in these symptoms. And we're also gonna talk about how do you handle brain fog when you are a professional athlete. Because brain fog on its own is already bad enough. We can all agree on that. If you ever had it, you know what I'm talking about. But if you are a professional athlete and you also need your mind and you need your focus all the time to focus on your sport, and then you have this coupled with a brain fog, I'm telling you, it's not fun at all. But I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you getting rid of your brain fog. And this is what this video is about. So what is even brain fog? So I can talk from my personal experience about it right now. For me, brain fog felt like I was slightly drunk all the time. It felt like somebody stuffed cotton wool in my forehead. It felt like I'm not really taking part in life anymore. It felt like my life is going on in a movie in front of me without me partaking in it. It's really weird to describe it, but if you ever had it or if you have it right now, you're really gonna understand me. And a lot of symptoms that are also accompanied with brain fog are, for example, forgetfulness. You have focus and concentration issues. This is a big one for me. This was also a big one for me because I couldn't even look people in the eyes and talk to them because it was too exhausting for me. And focus and concentration issues are a big one with brain fog, as well as forgetfulness. You could also have a slight pressure on the forehead. You could read things, for example, and forget about what you've read. And you could have so many concentration and focus issues that you can't even read, and that your mind can't even process what you just read. So with brain fog, there is basically, literally, it's that you just have a fog in your head, that you can't think clearly. That's also a big one. That you know what you're going to say, but you don't get the words out. That's also a big symptom of brain fog. You know exactly what you want to say, but you just can't get the words out. These symptoms, when you have them in your everyday life, they're really bad because you can't function anymore. You have to work hard for every little thing in your life, because for me, and you will understand that if you had brain fog or if you have it, you have to overcome. There's a big overcoming for every little thing you do, because everything that you do is so exhausting. Basically every single task that you do is exhausting. I was happy when training was over, and when I could go home, and when I could relax, when I could sleep, and when I didn't have to do anything, because everything was just so exhausting for me. I couldn't do anything, basically. And if I had to do something, I had to push myself really hard. And people that have brain fog are one of the hardest working people out there, because I'm telling you, with these issues, life is just really hard. And especially when you are a professional athlete and you have these issues, if you are in the zone and if you are on adrenaline, then you can handle it somehow. But all the time in between, everything is exhausting, your energy drops. You're not in the mood for anything. So for me, the even bigger problem was that I'd love to train more than we actually did. And with brain fog, I wasn't able to do that because I was just happy when training was over and when I could go home. And if you really want to make it in professional sports, you know that you have to do these extra training sessions, for example, to just be better than other people. And if you have brain fog, I couldn't do that for myself. The other issue is also that you can't really concentrate, and your whole performance suffers because of this. When you have to make a pass, when you have to react quickly, then sometimes you can't really do that because you're so brain fogged. So you can't never really reach your full potential if you have chronic brain fog. Sometimes you know that you're a completely different person when you don't have brain fog and when you have it. Because if you don't have it, everything makes fun. You go to your training session, you're in a good mood, but if you have brain fog, it's just the worst. You're not in the mood for anything, you don't have fun in training, and your whole vitality just drops. It's really a tough challenge if you are a professional athlete and you have brain fog. But I'm telling you, first of all, there's a solution for that, and second of all, hang in there. You can do it even if you have the worst brain fog. You can still perform, you can still do it. You can also make sure you still have a decent performance. I had brain fog for over 1 year and nobody realized that I had it because I kept it for myself. I didn't really want to talk about it because also in professional sports, if you're showing weakness, then basically you're useless in professional sports. I know it sounds hard, but it's about performance. It's about that the team is getting better. It's about you getting better, whatever you are doing. But if you show weakness and you hinder somehow the team or whatever you're doing in the performance, that they're winning the games, for example, then they're not going to need you. And that's why I never really talked about that. But as I said, there's a solution for your brain fog. And to have a good solution for the brain fog, you actually need to know what is causing the brain fog in the first place. Now for brain fog, first of all, I'm explaining to you your neurons. You have millions of neurons, even billions of neurons in your brain. And if these neurons don't work properly, then it's possible that you get brain fog. And how exactly, I'm going to explain this to you right now. So you have a neuron, okay? And in this neuron there are electrical impulses. And these electrical impulses are thoughts of you, for example. And electrical impulses, they need neurotransmitter chemicals to hop from one neuron to another neuron. And if this process is fine and everything goes well, you don't have brain fog. You have clear thoughts, you have a sharp mind, everything is good. But if you have any kind of impediments in your neurotransmitter chemicals and the electrical impulses can't hop so easily from one neuron to another neuron, then this is the problem where you get brain fog. And why are there these impediments? What kind of impediments are there? First of all, you could have the Epstein-Barr virus sitting in your liver. What is the Epstein-Barr virus in your liver doing? The Epstein-Barr virus is feeding on all kinds of foods, for example, eggs, dairy, and gluten. But when brain fog gets the worst is when the Epstein-Barr virus is feeding on toxic heavy metals, for example, mercury. And then, when you eat something, you also have to poop something out. And the Epstein-Barr virus is feeding on mercury, for example, and releasing a neurotoxin. It can get into your brain through the bloodstream and can actually diminish your neurotransmitter chemicals. It can make your neurotransmitter chemicals dirty. It can make them muddy. And you remember what I just explained? If there's anything going on there, if the neurotransmitter chemicals are not working properly, then you could get brain fog because messages in your brain can't go from one to B to C so easily anymore. So you have to restore the neurotransmitter chemicals and you also have to get rid of the Epstein-Barr virus, for example. But you could not only get brain fog because of the Epstein-Barr virus and toxic heavy metals. This is the most common case, but you could also get brain fog only by toxic heavy metals that are oxidizing in your brain and also causing your neurotransmitter chemicals to weaken. Okay, so we have basically two causes. We have the Epstein-Barr virus and we have toxic heavy metals. Once the Epstein-Barr virus is feeding on toxic heavy metals, releasing neurotoxins, diminishing your neurotransmitter chemicals, that your electrical impulses can't work properly, and then you get all these kind of issues. You get the feeling that you're drunk, you get pressure on your forehead, you get forgetfulness, you get concentration and focus issues, you can't really read, you can't look people in the eyes. Every single task is really hard to do. And what are we going to do about that? Obviously, we have to get rid of the virus. We also have to cleanse the toxic heavy metals out of our brain and out of our liver. One of the best things you can do for brain fog is celery juice on an empty stomach in the morning, because celery juice restores neurotransmitter chemicals in your brain. How is it doing that? Celery juice has something called sodium cluster salts, and these sodium cluster salts can actually restore neurotransmitter chemicals in your brain. And these sodium cluster salts are also highly antiviral. They break down the membrane of a viral cell. So you could actually attack the Epstein-Barr virus in your body by drinking celery juice. And there are so many other modalities that you can use to heal your brain fog. Same as I did, because I was a professional soccer player. I suffered so much from brain fog. It was so hard for me. This is a very important video for me because this is one of the symptoms that I had for myself, and I know how hard it is if you have these kind of issues. And it took me around 6 months to get rid of my brain fog after I changed my diet, after I incorporate so many different things, after I cleansed my body out of toxic heavy metals, after I took the right kind of supplements also. This is also a big factor. And also, if you have brain fog, please do me one favor and just avoid any kind of toxic fragrances, any kind of perfume. It's so bad for your brain fog because the perfume nowadays is a neurotoxin in itself. And perfume also has toxic heavy metals, and it just makes everything worse. So as you can see, you can actually heal your brain fog the same as I did. And this is where I can help you. I help professional athletes to get rid of their brain fog, to get rid of all their other chronic illnesses, that you actually can focus on your sport again, that you can reach your full potential, and that you don't have to suffer from these chronic, long-lasting, annoying conditions that make your life miserable. There's a link in the description where you can book your free call with me, where we could talk about your specific situation, where we can see if and how I can help you.